What's a poppin', my beautiful people? Sankya here. You know what the fuck going on? I'm back again with another video. Again in my car. It's been a vibe actually, like filming videos in my car. I'm kind of enjoying it. So you guys are probably gonna be seeing a lot of this throughout the next weeks or the next videos. I hope you don't mind because I'm gonna keep doing that for a little while. Today I'm coming to y'all from the future to stop y'all from making the mistakes I did once again, because I do that a lot, right? Like I'm a professional at just coming to you guys and telling you I did this, please don't do it. So today we are talking about not forgetting why we are single. Obviously I'm addressing myself to the single ladies, not the ones in a relationship. You guys are happy, whatever, not jealous or anything. This is actually gonna be more of a rant slash giving you guys my advice, because I'm currently in my single trying to figure my shit out era. You know, the one where you're forced in it because you just got out of a stupid ass relationship that broke your heart. So yeah, like I've dealt with my pain already. I'm kind of like just chilling right now, but the temptation to break this area that I'm in right now, just being single and figuring myself out, is so strong. Like temptation is everywhere. Honestly, I've been somebody who bounces from relationship to relationship a lot because I love love and I just love being in a relationship, and I'm very clingy with, you know, boyfriendy. Anyways, I'm that kind of girl, right? And this time after the last relationship that I was in, I decided to actually take care of myself. Frankly, I was too hurt to even try to look around or whatnot, but even being in a stronger place, stronger spot mentally right now, I still decided to stay in this phase by choice. Stay in this phase where, like, you know what? Let me just spend time by myself, figure what I'm about, what I want, what I tolerate, what I don't tolerate, even look back at my relationships and just self-reflect, right? So basically, I'm just gonna be talking out loud again and bore you guys with my reflections and you know, where I'm at right now, and maybe advise you guys if you're in the same position as me on how to stay strong and remain in that phase that you have to go through after a relationship just to figure out where you're at. So here we go. Like I said, I'm somebody who bounce from relationship to relationship, and I've done that for years, literally. I don't even know how my friends were able to handle me just talking about boys all the time, because I always had issues with these niggas. And in my head I was like, is it really that niggas are trash in the street, or is it that, you know, I can't make my relationships work? Like, what is it? And I'm used to constant affection, constant relationship problems, constant sex, constant everything, you know, that's related to being with somebody. I realized that jumping from relationship to relationship was very detrimental to my confidence in being alone. And it might seem like nothing when I talk about it. You might be in a relationship and be like, what the hell is she talking about? Well, it's common knowledge that you have to be able to stay by yourself, right? You have to be able to depend on yourself only and be emotionally content being alone at some point in your life. And I just felt like I needed to be with somebody. I needed someone, and I felt more comfortable just being in a relationship. That brought me so many issues into my relationships that after self-reflection, I'm figuring out some shit that I was fighting for, let's say, in my relationship, whether it's affection, attention, respect. These are things that I wouldn't even have bothered fighting about if I had done the proper inner work, because I would know that, what the hell, this is not some shit I want to tolerate. This is not some shit that I deserve. Let me get the fuck out of this relationship. But it's like when you're constantly with somebody, you get lost kind of in what is a no, what is a yes, and then there's love that comes in the mix, and everything just becomes harder to distinguish, right? But if you've done the proper work within yourself and you know yourself and you've learned from your past relationships, then you're able to get into the new one with a fresh mind and with a clear mind as well. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, after a bunch of failed relationships back to back, it was extremely hard to be alone. Like, I felt lonely, I felt horny, I felt just unimpressed by everything that was going on around me. I was so bored and unentertained. I may seem dramatic, but it's actually true. Like, I was like 100% everybody that's single right now is not happy with it. Like, they're faking it. They have to be, because this is so freaking boring. After having been with so many, I feel like when I talk and I say I've been in relationships for years back to back, you guys feel like I'm talking about so many niggas. But they were long relationships. They were just like one after the other, you know? Yeah, like I said, I was so scared to be alone. I was like, what if I'm alone and I get bored out of my mind, and then I have to do the inner work, and then I discover things about myself that I never wanted to know. I'll discover that some of the reasons why my relationships were over are my fault, and some of the reasons why I accepted what I accepted in my relationships was because I didn't know my worth enough to leave and know when, okay, enough is enough. So now that I'm single, it's like, it's hard in some sense, because it's forcing me to just study everything and review my past relationships and think back and relive those moments and ask myself questions. Some questions I'll never get the answer for. It's a hard process, even if I have to go through it. And so I'm here to kind of like to remind you that it's important for you to remain in that position until you know yourself enough to be with somebody else. And you kind of got to remind yourself why you're taking a break to begin with. And you know, you have to look at the bigger picture, because it's like, I meet this cute nigga. As usual, you know, the beginnings are always the funnest part. They're always the most romantic part and the most exciting parts. You meet this guy and okay, you know, it's cool and everything. The vibe is nice, whatever. But then when you catch feelings, when feelings get into the mix and you're at risk of getting hurt, not saying that that nigga is gonna hurt you, but you're putting your heart, exposing your heart to that person, and you're at risk of, you know, getting your feelings hurt, it's gonna hit you 10 times harder if it happens, because you haven't done the inner work. And honestly, with so many failed relationships, it really affected my self-confidence. I was just like, why the hell do some people have the capacity to stay in a relationship for 5, 6, 7 years and I can't last 2-3 years with the same nigga? Like, what's going on? And it makes you think that you might be the only problem in all your relationships and the only reason why your relationships are failing, which is highly unlikely. But even then, if you haven't done the work to properly raise self-awareness, you're never gonna figure out what the issue is, and if you were indeed the issue, and if you were, how to fix it. You know what I mean? This is the disadvantage of working outside. Is that a fucking helicopter? Jeez. One advice that I can give you that really helped me throughout this journey was to keep busy. And I know some people are gonna be like, no, you shouldn't keep busy. You should actually face the situation so that you're better. It's not a linear process, you know, like everybody is doing it the way that they can. I personally kept busy with my career, with being a daughter, being a sister, being a friend, being an auntie. I had so many things to worry about that I did not even have time to worry about anything else. Niggas, relationships. It was just, I had too much to do. Go out with your friends, go out with your family. If you have the mental capacity already, spend time with yourself, take yourself out, go to the spa, read a book. There's so many things to do by yourself. Sometimes I even go to the park by myself. I stay in my car, be on my phone scrolling, listening to my music, just watching people pass by, and it's relaxed time, you know, and you allow yourself to breathe and just do something else than just thinking about your pain. And it might not be the healthiest way to go about it, but it really worked for me. At some point, I was just so busy that I wasn't realizing how fast time was passing by. And after a few months, you look back, because obviously you can end up thinking about what broke your heart or the situation or whatnot, and you're just like, I'm actually feeling a little better. Honestly, the only magical solution to a heart being broken or whatnot is time. I don't care what nobody else says. You can party every day if you want to, travel, you can do whatever you want, but really the solution to a broken heart is time passing by. Like, that's the only thing. That's why you can think about a situation a year later, 2 years later, and it doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt, but it hurts less than it used to. That's for sure. I feel like getting into a relationship, you know, being happy, then getting hurt, then rebuilding yourself is like a never-ending journey. And it sucks. It sucks that it has to be that way, but, you know, we don't control life. We don't control the way things are happening. I read something recently, actually. I don't know if it was on Twitter or on Instagram, but it was like, you're not responsible for every single problem that happens to you, but you're responsible to fix the things that happen to you. And that's for real. Like, nobody's really deserving of a broken heart. Nobody's really deserving to hurt, I guess. Well, that's another debate, but you're just responsible to make yourself happy again and do the proper work in order to just heal. By healing and by working on yourself, you get to know yourself. You get to know shit about yourself that you just like, oh my god, I'm actually that type of person. And you're more self-aware, and you can realize, even if you don't talk about it to somebody, you can realize, okay, I fucked up, that was my fault, or that wasn't really on me, or that absolutely wasn't on me, that was really on them, and that was fucked up what they did to me. To come to these realizations is absolutely life-changing and magical, because you're just like, okay, now I know. But you're not gonna get these answers out of the person who broke your heart, or I mean, you could, but not everybody's in the position to hit them up. Even if you do hit them up, they might not even say the truth, but whatever. You're not always in a position to obtain the answers from the outside, so sometimes you just have to do the proper work to be satisfied with the answers that you have or that you can find within. And by getting to know yourself, you normally learn to make less mistakes, and you can hold yourself more accountable. And the most important shit, you get to discover how large your worth is. You get to really understand how worthy you are of love, and how worthy you are of getting treated nicely by the person you love, and how worthy you are of not accepting the bare minimum. Some niggas that you were with did not have the right, absolutely not the right, to treat you the way they did. Not everybody deserved you, and not everybody deserves you at the moment, but you can only really understand that by doing the work on yourself, honestly. One thing I can tell you, niggas are everywhere. They're left, they're right, wherever you look, there is a nigga somewhere. But if you don't do the work before getting into another relationship, if you don't take that time to just reflect and really understand what the hell is going on with you, you're not going to be able to set the proper barriers. And even getting into a relationship, sometimes you step on your values for somebody, values that you should not even be overstepping on. And when niggas sense that you're letting shit slide and whatnot, a nigga is gonna be a nigga. They gonna dog your ass out. I'm again talking from experience. You know what type of person you are. I feel like deep down we always know what we want, what we don't want, what we're ready to tolerate, what we're not. And it's just when it comes to love, it's a whole different game. And if you're not strong enough mentally, the shit that can happen is crazy. Like when you're out of the relationship and you can finally take a look at the relationship as a whole, you're just like, how did I let this shit happen? I'm not that type of person. That nigga made me change. But really it's just that you weren't strong enough to stay yourself. You weren't strong enough to stay true to your values. A lot of the time. I'm not saying it's always like that, but I mean, situations like that can largely be avoided if you've done the proper work, the proper inner work. I feel like I've said proper work so many times in this video, but it's true, y'all. Like, it's hard to be alone even after a breakup, after being in a relationship for so long, whether it's with the same person or having jumped from relationship to relationship. It's not easy. It's really not, but it's necessary. And there is so much to do, so much to enjoy while being alone. There's so many books to read about how to just become the best version of yourself while being alone, and how to be ready for the next relationship and not make the same mistakes. It's a lot of things out there that can help and keep you from falling again into that kind of vicious circle of just wanting to stay with somebody. And it's so funny because I've had a date recently with this man, a very nice man, and I don't feel like I've done the proper work on myself, honestly, to have somebody else enter my life and you know, exposing my heart to somebody again. So I kind of had to let that man go. I had to let him go. I'm also busy with like my work stuff. I have so much shit to do right now, so I kind of had to put that aside. But like I'm telling you guys, he's a very nice man, a very smart man. He's different from the niggas that I dated before. And the difference with where I'm at right now and where I was when I got my heart broken several months ago, I wouldn't have had that strength to say I can't right now, or I'm just not mentally in the position to cater to somebody else. And it wasn't hard. And it's crazy. I mean, it might seem little, but having somebody who openly is interested in you and having the capacity, the courage to just say, no, I can't. That's something that you can only do if you've made the reflections, if you've you know, evaluated the situation properly. And that's not a skill I had when I had my heart broken or before I had really thought back about all my relationships. So that was cool. Might end up regretting it in a few months, few years, who knows? But it just, you know, I have stuff to do before involving myself with somebody again. That was it for today's video, y'all. I really hope I gave you guys some insights. I'm still in the process of getting to know myself and getting to understand what being alone really is about, because I've never really been alone for that long. But if you have any questions and I can answer them, I will gladly answer them. And do not be afraid of being alone. It's scary, but it's doable. I swear, if I can do it, anybody can do it, honestly. And it's a really, really rewarding process. When you know your worth, you feel very stingy with it, and you don't let anybody have you fucked up. Okay, maybe some people, but not everybody. Like I said, it's extremely rewarding, and you'll look back and you'll be like, oh my god, I did this shit. And that's the best feeling ever. If you have any other video ideas, anything that you want me to tackle that I feel like I can, I'll absolutely do it. Please just leave me a comment, like this video, share it with everybody about your parents, you know, my fucking vibes. And I will see you guys next week for my next video. Love y'all. Mwah.